Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Planes, Trains, and Combos channel. My name is Matt, and today we're going to review How I Became a Shoplifter #1. And before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, commenting, it really helps me out, lets me know what you guys want to see more of. So, with that being said, let's get straight into it. All right, we got the cover here for How I Became a Shoplifter #1. It is a Sumerian comic, and it is by Tom Brayfogle and Daniel Hilliard. And we start off with two kids named Ethan and Phil. They're two middle schoolers growing up in the 90s, and we get a little vignette of them having a couple fun nights on a Christmas in 1996. It seems they have a Polaroid camera and they're documenting all the different stages of one of their pranks. So we see them hanging out, but there's spray paint in the background. Then we see them the next night at a house, and they're just kind of scoping it out, making sure everything is cool. And then we see the next night, which is Christmas Eve, and they have definitely vandalized the heck out of this house. So now we know that these kids are not averse to mischief. So then we cut to 8 months later, in the summer of 97, where Phil and Ethan are getting beaten up by Phil's brother. And when he thinks they've had enough punishment, he leaves, but it seems like he doesn't know who he's messed with. Because immediately, Phil has an evil look on his face, and he has come up with a plan to get back at his brother. And that plan involves shoplifting a bunch of stuff from a bunch of stores all over town. The first one they hit is a grocery store, and security is pretty lax here, but we can see some of the stuff that they're stealing. They're stealing beer, some sort of magazines, Ziploc bags, fake blood, and no one stops them as they walk out. And everything seems to be going smoothly at all the different stores they hit until they get to the adult bookstore. And as you can see, they're stealing various amounts of pornography and adult toys, and they think they're getting away with it. But then out of nowhere, the store clerk comes by and catches them, and he's able to grab Ethan, but Phil is able to get away. So Ethan is thrown on the ground and I'm assuming arrested as he tells Phil to continue the plan. And that's where I'm going to stop it. I don't want to spoil anything else. So I picked up this comic because it seemed like a lot of fun. I really like the art style. It's cartoony, but it has a lot of energy to it. And of course, when I read what this was about, I had to get it because I was a kid in the 90s creating mischief as well. I think the writing in this was pretty solid. I definitely think it got better as the issue went on, because it starts off saying all these slang words from the 90s and talking about N64s and stuff. So at first I was like, is this just going to be the writer saying these touchstone words to get me nostalgic? But that was not the case. After the first couple pages, that slows down a bit and you get more into the story. Now this book is actually broken up into 3 chapters with 3 different crimes. So there's a story about them trying to impress girls and buying weed, and there's another one where they break into the VIP section of a concert to try to get an autograph for those same girls. I thought the art in this book was fantastic. Like I said at the beginning, I think the cartooniness and energy of the artist's style is very interesting, and I love the way he draws the 2 boys. It just seems like they're having a blast anytime they're doing any of their crimes. So I think that this book is good for anybody to pick up, but for sure if you were a kid in the 90s, and specifically if you got into mischief in the 90s, this one would be pretty fun for you to read. But even without that reference, I think the story itself stands up, even without the nostalgia factor. So I'm going to give this book a 4 out of 5. Now, there might be a little asterisk to that because I did grow up in the 90s and I do have nostalgia for it, but I tried to be as objective as possible while rating this. So if you guys saw anything you like, definitely go pick that up at your local comic book store, and we will see y'all in the next one.